Hey everybody, Questwise here, and today I want to talk about a product that I was able to secure while I was at GaryCon in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin this past month or so. If you've watched some of my videos before, you'll know that I'm a big fan of the OSR, the old school Renaissance sort of realm of games, and that throwback to the original sort of D&D and that early style of play. And there are tons, there's a ton of great independent publishers out there right now, as well as sort of smaller scale publishers that are really diving into that as well too. And I've looked at many of those games, and they're all really great. And they all have their own sort of appeal to the OSR movement. Things like Swords and Wizardry and the Hero's Journey and I mean, there's countless others, but I felt like at one point that I had seen just about everything that was possible to do with the OSR until I stumbled upon this. Yes, Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. I missed, unfortunately, the Kickstarter for this. And the more and more I had heard about it and I had read about it and had listened to people talk about it and had seen actual plays online with it, especially those that were done by Dungeon Musings and Live from the Sword Coast, the podcast that Kevin over there. I knew that I needed to get my hands on a copy of this, but I didn't really know why. Like I figured, okay, another OSR product. I'm a huge fan of the very pulpy, early sort of Appendix N kind of fiction anyway. So I knew that this was going to be right at home for me, but it wasn't until I actually grabbed a copy of this and started to dive into it that I realized that there are still vistas that we have not explored in the OSR. This does some amazing things. It takes those concepts of the OSR movement and OSR games and really expounds upon all of them. Things like, while it does incorporate things like descending armor class, it keeps a lot of the strength of the traditional things, but adds a wealth of new ideas and stuff. The expansion of rules on things like it's simple as poison, the way that different types of armor might work. The world setting itself is just bizarre and awesome and perfectly fits a lot of those Appendix N tales. You probably heard me talk about things like Jack Vance's Tales of the Dying Earth and some stuff that I've really come to appreciate having finally read those tales from Appendix N, the Amber Chronicles, all those kind of things that I understand now. It gave me a better appreciation of the OSR movement. It gave me a better appreciation of the influences that Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson had while creating the games that they did. And this game encapsulates all of those and more. This book is hefty. It is big. It has 2 built-in bookmarks. It weighs in at approximately 600 pages of complete awesomeness. There are tables in here for environmental effects like wind chill factors. There's, like I was talking about earlier, there's a great section on how poison works, and it's not just a poison save, that there's a variety of different types of poisons and how they interact with your characters or NPCs. There's an awesome section of magic items and magic item creation and the world setting, a gazetteer of how this world sort of works. And if you're curious about what the world setting is like, think Jack Vance's Tales of the Dying Earth mixed with Robert Howard's Conan mixed with Edgar Rice Burroughs' Princess of Mars, and you'll get just a small chunk of what this game really is. It is bizarre, and it is awesome, and it is just full of pulp goodness. Think Weird Tales or Astonishing Stories, these old pulp magazines. You've heard me talk about those in the past. This game encapsulates all of that kind of great stuff. There are some amazing races. I should say races. It's very humanocentric in the races that it uses, meaning that you play as a human, but there are different sort of cultures within those human races, within the human race that you get to choose from. One of the other things that I really want to do with this, because you may already know about my love for visitation fiction, I want to take some characters from Earth, maybe 1800s, 1700s, and throw them into this world. I want them to come through some kind of weird Portal. I want it to be like a John Carter where he falls asleep and wakes up on Mars kind of thing. Very bizarre and very pulpy in that action and that kind of feel. I think that would be a lot of fun to have characters from Earth sort of explore this bizarre idea. And Hyperborea, the idea of Hyperborea comes from, I believe it was Clark Ashton Smith who actually first kind of used this term as a world setting for some of his weird, bizarre stories. Um, but Hyperborea literally means beyond the north wind, and the company that actually creates this product is actually called North Wind Productions. So you can kind of see that there's a true love of those sort of stories and that sort of pulpy genres, that there's all encapsulated in here, and there is a ton of it, a literal ton of it. Definitely worth going and checking this book out, checking this company out. There's a bunch of adventures for it. I believe they just came out with um, a player's guide, so that it's a little bit smaller, cheaper version of this that's just for character creation, that you can give to your players so that they can have a reference in their hands as well too while you're running the game and stuff as well too. Great, great stuff. I can't say enough about this. I was able to talk with the creator while I was at GaryCon. He actually signed the book and stuff for me. But Jeffrey, thank you so much for taking the time to create such an amazing game. And in one in which that, this might not appeal to everybody because it's kind of gonzo and it's kind of strange and it's weird, and it really fits into those sort of like bizarre pulpy stories from that era. But to me, that touches on every high point of things that I love about the OSR and about that time period of like the 30s and 40s. Crazy, crazy fantasy science fiction tales. And so if you're anything like me and you love that kind of stuff, this is the game for you. I think this is the game that sort of encapsulates all of those amazing, amazing settings and thoughts and genres and everything into one game, and does it very, very well. So until next time, I'm Questwise, and I am out.